It is the Fantasy Golf Degenerates podcast for this week's BMW Championship. As always, the show's brought to you by ProphetX. Use code FG Degenerates to get yourself 1.5% back on your first 30 days of plays. And as always, I am brought to you, presented by, and in cahoots with Kenneth motherfucking Kim. What's up, Kenny?
What's up, man? Pretty exciting Sunday. That was a lot of fun to watch.
It was
I have to say. I'll talk about it a little bit more as the show goes on, but that was a good start to the playoffs. Not financially for me, but just from the viewing aspect. It was a great final round.
Man, golf, you can be so close to winning hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, and then one playoff can just vanish, all of that in one go. But it was a great tournament. Lots to chat about all of that. As always, comment below who you think is going to win this week. We never had a winner from last week, so there are 3 comments for free. You can comment the same name 3 times. The 4th name will be eliminated. We're rolling it forward every week until someone hits the winner. Justin Rose was not mentioned in the comments last week, so we will be looking for 3 more winners to join my Model Maniac Discord for a free month. There are guys from January that are still in there, so it's basically a free year for you guys. Get in there. Kenny, we jumped in on JJ Spawn and 14-1 on Sunday. And that's my 4th playoff loss in 5 playoffs this year now.
Oh my God.
So we are hot.
Really? I think it's bad. I think Pat's lost like 6 in a row. I don't know if you guys follow at House Money on X. He's lost 8 playoffs in a row where he's had a guy in the playoffs. That is some painful shit. I mean, like, yeah, I tailed you. I didn't get 14-1. I think I got like 8-1 or something. I think he made the birdie. On
hole 1, chipped in
when I added him. But it at least there was a sweat because none of my guys. I've been sort of this past month has been pretty fucking bad. So I'm hoping these last couple of events I can get out of the schneid, get back into the winning column, both in DFS and betting. So there's some things we're switched up. I bet guys I normally don't bet. We'll see if it works for this week. But the actual tournament itself last week was that Sunday was amazing. Of course, Fleetwood going in with the lead, loses the lead in like 3 holes
immediately
or something like that, right? He just lost the lead, which I think actually sort of worked out for him. Again, chasing again, makes a couple of birdies on the back to get back to where he needs to be. And then, of course, doesn't birdie any of the any holes on the back 9 bogeys. I think 17 to bring him 1 back, and that gives him the loss. Of course, that's painful for him. 2nd one in a month where he's blown it. I mean, you'd expect him to win after we've seen Cam Young do what he did. You would expect Tommy to get a W soon, but the thing is, like, he's not like a young guy anymore either. He's like in his mid-30s. Like, he's on the back end of his career. I think I could be wrong about his age. Maybe he's a little bit younger. I don't know. But I thought he was like mid-30s.
He's probably older than 35, I would say.
Yeah. And once golfers get to that point nowadays, it's not like the old days where that was the prime, right? Back when we were kids, guys 30 years old was sort of your prime time, 30 to 40. It's not like that anymore. It's a younger man's game, especially with the equipment, especially with how long these guys hit the ball. He's running out of time. Tommy is running out of time. It's not like he plays a shit ton of events either. I think he plays the bare minimum on the PGA Tour also, and he's also playing signature events the whole time, not really playing other shitty events where he can like get his W, right? Like,
unless it's the DP World Tour.
It's going to be a tough battle for him to get it. Like, I want him to get it. I think he will get it because, I mean, my God, he's such a nice guy. But
nice guys finish last, Kenny.
Yeah,
you know what they say.
It's going to get tougher.
I mean, I've said this about Taylor Montgomery, that he's one of the most talented golfers there is on the PGA Tour, but he's one of the worst competitors. And I think you can Tommy is on steroids when it comes to that comp, because
but like you see
ultra
him at the
talented.
Ryder Cup, just whooping ass, going 5-0. You know he's got it in him, right? I
Yes.
mean, like that competitive fire, that competitive edge. I know a lot of people say that, like, they like him talking afterwards, and he's such a good sport. I sort of want him to get pissed off now, right? I mean, just some type of change in his mentality when it comes down to being in contention at these type of events. I want some type of change in his mental. Like, oh, I'm close. I'm almost there. Well, you've been fucking close, and you've been almost fucking there for a decade now.
He's 34, by the way. I looked it up. So
for a decade now, you've been close, right? It's time to get it fucking done, right? Like, I don't know if it should really make him feel good that, oh, I'm almost there. Like, it's too late for that, Tommy, right? You need to get this W. I like, become an asshole for something. I don't know. Do something like different. Like, people give him so much credit for talking to the media, interview afterwards. He's saying the same shit every time. And yeah, cool. He gets to talk, and some guys get so angry that they don't want to speak. But those guys usually end up winning again at some point in time.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Those guys end up winning again. Right? So
yeah.
I don't know. Something needs to happen in his mentals on Sundays when he's in contention. I don't like the fact that he's in the lead. I think that fucks him immediately. I think if you could put him in the lead on Sunday, you could bet against him all day. And it's not like he played horrible. He shot 69, 1 under on Sunday, but it's just not enough, right? It's just not enough. And then you got a couple of guys that went on some heaters where, Justin Rose incredibly birdied 6 of his last 8 holes played, including the playoffs, which, St. Jude's not an easy course. Like, there's not like a
final holes.
Like, on the back 9, there's only like 1 hole that plays under par.
Yeah.
Right. And that's 15 or 16, the par 5. Like, throughout its history, all those holes on the back 9 play over par. And this motherfucker went out and birdied 6 of 8.
He gets hot, Kenny. He did this at Augusta, remember? To get into a playoff.
Really impressive. And then JJ, going toe to toe. It was really impressive what he did. I mean, you could see the confidence. That's one thing that's missing in Tommy Fleetwood, and you actually see it in JJ Spock, even though JJ lost, right? Like, you felt like watching him that he knows that he can win.
Yes.
Right? Even though he didn't. You look at him ever since that US Open victory, he's been playing pretty good golf since then. And when you watch him on Sunday, you can see that, like, the mental focus is there. Like, when you look at him, you can tell, like, this guy thinks he can win this event.
Shoulders back, chest out.
Yeah. When you look at Tommy, you don't see that. You don't see that.
He's shave his hair.
Tommy's been a much better player than JJ throughout his career, right? And so all it takes is that one big win, to really change how you think and how you react in certain situations. And Tommy needs that big win. If it happens, I think he can win more than one. Especially if it happens soon, like next year. Maybe if he gets that.
That's how long he has to wait for now.
Yeah, if he gets that,
he's not winning at Caves.
I mean, who knows? I mean, he could come out here. I mean, I don't think people are going to be on him this week. That's for sure. So if you're looking for low owned in that 10K range, him and JT sort of stick out to me. All right. Everyone else should get some ownership in that 10K range this week. Fleetwood and JT, we'll see. Those two could be the pivots in it. And honestly, like, looking at it, I didn't even consider Fleetwood a pivot. JT was going to be my pivot in the 10K range. And that goes to show you what the mentality is that a lot of people have towards Tommy. All right. This guy came out. He should have won twice in the last month. I think he's gonna flounder in ownership when it comes to DFS because people have absolutely zero faith in him. But
he's statistically, when you're playing this good but keep coming up short, your stats are through the roof, dude. Yeah. You're basically winning tournaments with those stats, but not, so statistically in the models, he's going to pop hard all the time. But, you know, he just didn't have it.
At Button? I don't think so.
We'll see. You know what Button didn't click on Sunday, Kenny, was Scotty Scheffler without Ted Scott. Scotty, now we're holding him to exceptionally high standards. Yeah, okay, Scotty gained 2.3 strokes on Sunday, but he played with his C+ game. Like,
and he had that one bogey on 16. That was a real big mistake. Or was it 17? It was one of those final 4 holes that he bogeyed to take him out, but he was still in it the whole time.
Yeah, I think Ted is what makes Scotty elite. You know, Scotty's
that's what it's looked like. That's changed him once he went to Ted Scott, and of course everyone knows the story. Ted went up to him and was like, "I don't know if I want to be your caddy with the attitude that you have on the course." And you know, Scotty made the adjustments he needed to make to get Ted Scott on his bag, and those adjustments I think really have helped his game. You know, in the last 3 years. I mean, obviously, just from the eye test, it's been pretty easy to see that's been the case. And so, I mean, I think we give caddies maybe a little bit too much credit sometimes.
Overall. Yeah, overall.
I mean, Scott,
there are unique caddies that are like very good.
I think if another caddy came up to Scotty and said the same stuff that Ted did, I think the same thing would have happened. I don't necessarily think it's just because of Ted Scott, but someone would have had to have the balls to actually say that to Scotty Scheffler. And there's not that many caddies out there that would have done that.
They have to have gray hair, basically, to be able to say that.
There's not that many caddies that would have done that. And this partnership has worked out very, very well for him. So I mean, Scotty, Rose, Spawn, and Fleetwood all in contention. That was a great final round. The back nine was amazing. The playoff was fantastic. I mean, of course, Rose got lucky on that second drive. I mean, that was a 1.5 feet from the water hazard. But again, you know, to win on the PGA Tour, sometimes you need a little bit of luck. Now, all the glazing of Justin Rose, yes, it's amazing. He's 45. He won an event. Dude's won twice in the last 6 years. Like, it's not like he's out here breaking records at his age. He's a very accomplished golfer, has done amazing things in his career. The runner-ups have been incredible. This last year year plus has been amazing for him. But I mean, like a couple of years ago, he wasn't doing shit, right? I mean, he's only won twice in his 40s in the last 6 years. It's not like he's out here changing the game at 40s. I think we're gonna hold off on that. And the people that are bitching about, you know, the USA chance when Justin Rose misses at the FedEx Cup at St. Jude, we're a month out from the Ryder Cup.
Yeah, that's 100.
It's the one time of the year where I think it's a dick move to do like February, right? You know what I'm saying?
Or in 2024, you know,
or like a non-Ryder Cup year, right?
Even
like not even a Ryder Cup year. Like, I mean, when you get this close, it's the next big event, right? I mean, the FedEx Cup playoff really, it ain't shit, really, right?
No,
I enjoyed watching this past week. You know, golf fans are smart. They know what's coming, right? They know.
And Rosie's a backbone of that Ryder Cup team. You know, like he's on it now for sure.
Whooped our fucking ass in the Ryder Cup for decades. Yeah. Right. I mean, there's a little bit of hate there, right? I mean, maybe that's why I'm thinking the way I do, because I did about Justin Rose, because I know we're getting close to the Ryder Cup. I know that I hate those motherfuckers to just consistently whoop our ass. We've just been a better team throughout the past since 1989, right? You know, my first golf memory is the 1991 war on the Shoal, Kiowa Island, when Bernard Longer missed that 4-footer. For the Europeans to win the Cup. And since that point in time, the Ryder Cup's been probably my number one sporting event that I look forward to.
It's awesome.
More than football, more than the Super Bowl, more than March Madness, more than anything. I think the only things that would jump the Ryder Cup would be a Commander Super Bowl or another
game.
Capitals Stanley Cup. Those would probably be the only two things that could trump what the Ryder Cup means to me personally. You know, as an immigrant to this country who, you know, got his citizenship and, you know, loves America, and now, you know, any type of team competition, you know, I am all in, especially when it comes to the Ryder Cup. And, you know, before I started watching golf, it was just a runaway, right? I mean, the United States won everyone for decades, right? I mean,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
until Sevi came along, right? And then Sevi sort of changed the whole mind frame of the Euros and that whole Sevi type of leadership with the Poulters, with the Sevis, with the Woozies, you know,
Sergio's.
with those type of golfers. It's given me a little bit of hatred towards those guys. I mean, I'll be 100% honest. Like, you know, especially the closer we get to the actual event. So I got no problem with the American fans doing what they did, chanting USA. I fucking boom. I don't give a fuck. I mean, you know, we're a month away from the biggest competition in golf. I think the Ryder Cup's, in my opinion, the Ryder Cup's bigger than the majors. I don't think a lot of people think like that, but I do. And I think for some of these players, especially on the European side, that's a fact too. This is
they
big
emotional as shit.
majors, right? And it's sort of been a problem with the United States team, because I use a quote unquote team, you know, in quotes when it comes to the United States.
Yeah.
Right. They don't have that bond that the Europeans do. And in when it comes to the Ryder Cup, you know, you know, it's sort of what it needs. Like all these youngsters on the team that you know, they grew up on Tiger, right? And Tiger was single focus, all about me, get these majors, and that's how these guys think. And even Tiger wasn't great at the Ryder Cup because of his mentality. You really have to change the way that you think and play the game when you get to the Ryder Cup, because you're not just playing for yourself, you're playing for your teammates, you're playing for your captains, you're playing for your motherfucking country. There is no thing that you can play for, I think, than playing for your country, winning for your country in any sport, in anything that you do. It should be the number one thing that you could do as a professional athlete. And I think the problem with the United States is they don't think like that. Right? I'm welling up talking about it because that's how much it means to me. Oh, for the Ryder Cup. I don't think the American team thinks like that enough. Now, it started changing a little bit. Okay. And now we have Keegan Bradley as the captain. And I think that's going to bring the team together. You know, he's the team rah guy. And I think it's exactly what they need. But the thing is Keegan going to play? What do you
That
think?
is a good question, Kenny. But before I answer that one, the glazing of Justin Rose as a 40-year-old is very valid. Okay. So since turning 40, this is what Justin Rose has done.
Could be biased. If he was an American, I'd probably be like, you know, guard him is not. Right? I mean,
I'm gonna lay out some stats here on Rosie. There's no one better since 40 years old and on the PGA Tour outside of Phil Mickelson. I'd reckon Justin Rose is his next best. 40 plus. If you just take that part of their career, the back end, 40 plus. Justin Rose, leader after round one at the Masters multiple times. Second at the Open in 2024. Sixth at the PGA Championship in 2024. In 2023, ninth at the PGA, 16th at the Masters. In 22, 13th at the PGA. In 21, T8 at the PGA Championship. This dude has been sensational. Kenny is one of the biggest points earners on the European Ryder Cup team. He's done that now twice in the last couple years. This will be now his third one as a 40-year-old. So Rosie is sensational. He's got some of the best rounds around Augusta. You know, like, I would say he's like Tom Brady-esque when it comes to what Tom did at Tampa. You know, like you get old and just kick into another gear and still, dude, in a year of, I don't know if Kenny's frozen again or not. Okay. Good to see some eye contact, dude. You know, just chatting. I can't just speak to the people. I gotta see you engaging with me. Otherwise I just lose focus. Anyway, Ryder Cup. Keegan, does this get you your head up, Kenny? Keegan Bradley not being on the team?
I mean, I don't. The way he's playing right now, I don't think he should be on the team.
Well,
I don't know
You said he
whether
needs to do both. So I can't wait for him to put himself on the team over someone else that deserves to be on the team and completely fuck up the entire chemistry of that team.
Yeah, see, I mean, like, if it was a month and a half ago where he just won a tournament and he was, playing some of the best golf in the world, at that point in time, then yes, he should have been on a team. But it's been about a month and a half, 2 months of a little bit of struggle. And so at this point in time, I don't think I'd have him on the team. A month ago, yes, without a doubt. A month and a half ago, without a doubt, I would have had him on the team. I think I remember yelling about that on the show about him trying to do both, and I said that he should. And if he goes out there and wins this week and finishes top 5 in the Tour Championship, then maybe we can have that conversation back again. But I don't. It almost seems like I don't say he's tanking, but like
What it looks like to me
could it possibly
is
be because he has too much going on with the
no,
Ryder Cup that it's messing with his game, and that's what you
no.
were worried about with him playing. And at that point in time, a couple of months ago, when he won the Travelers, or I think it was the Travelers, and he came in, had some good finishes around there. You put the best in there, and I don't think it would have been that big of a deal because that's why he had added vice captains and guys who can take over if he needed. But at this point in time, the way he's playing, I think it's going to be too much of a distraction. It was a distraction probably back then, if it happened. But at this point in time, it's probably too much of a distraction because his game isn't where it was a month and a half ago.
I think he
for
put
Ryder Cup,
himself on the
really
team
is,
after Travelers.
what have you done for me lately? Right? I mean, that's what it comes down to until you get to the once the FedEx Cup playoffs end. That's the one big thing about the FedEx Cup playoffs, which I think is more important than the actual playoff system itself. It's to see who can get on to the Ryder Cup team. I think that is more compelling than actual playoffs, right? I mean, personally,
Yeah, absolutely. But I wouldn't take into account what happens. This time of the year, the playoffs is when you're doing 50-50 calls. Like Keegan, the moment he won, Kenny, he put himself on the team. Like you can see that the player has just gone downhill since the win. He doesn't have if he wasn't the captain and the captain hadn't already told him inside his own head that he's going to be playing, he would still be playing good golf. But he knows he's going to be on the team because he's putting himself on the team. That's why Gary Woodland is on the team as the co-captain. Boom chakalaka, he's playing. Now, people needed to say Ben Griffin needed to play well this weekend. He finished another top 10. That was very expected from him. Like, why did he have to play well in the playoffs only after doing everything he's done so far this year? I don't think he was a person that needed to play well in the playoffs anyway to make the team. Guys like maybe Andrew Novak.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the fringe guys.
Yeah, 50-50 decisions. You're still trying to pick between him and him. Ben Griffin is in. You should have been in ages ago. I don't think he needed to have played well this.
What if he finished 65th last week and finishes 50th?
No, I don't care, dude. He's 2 top 10s in 2 majors. Yeah, and the bad finishes was the John Deere Classic. He had one of like a one bad week of putting, and then goes open to the Open Championship and misses the cut. I do not care about the Open Championship. You're not playing in open conditions. You're playing at Bethpage Black. That's what Ben Griffin's game is built for now.
And I think he's finished top 15 in 13 of his last 15 starts.
Yes,
or some
exactly what you want.
Number like that. So yeah, he's in.
I was looking at stats, Kenny. Like I think 7 of Ben Griffin's last 9, now 8 of his last 10, he's been inside the top 14. Colin Morikawa's been inside the top 14 once over that entire stretch, and he's a lock for people to have him on the team. Like, you see what happens to Colin when the heat gets turned up nowadays. Like, he was going to win this tournament Friday afternoon. He wasn't even a factor on Sunday. Like, I don't know, man. He's a massive question mark. But again, the guys that would replace him are also massive question marks. But he's not part of the core anymore, in my opinion. He's completely lost his game.
I think Cantley's in. I think he's in. Griffin's in. The top 6 are in. The big question is going to be Keegan. I think the top 11 are locked. Personally,
Cam Young, is he in?
Who
is Cameron Young in?
I think so. I think Cam Young is in, and he's the 11th. I think the 12th guy is Keegan. at this point in time, but I don't think he's going to make the team. So that 12th golfer is going to be, I don't know who that will be.
You don't think he's going to make the team, Kenny?
I don't think now, because it's too much. It's too much. There's too much controversy if he puts himself on the team right now after finishing 45th, 50th, 32nd, 40th in his last 4. I'm just throwing numbers out there, but that's basically where he's finished in the last month leading up to this event. Now, if it was like 1st, 2nd, 10th, 20th, he's probably on the team. You know, and you deal with that controversy. Now, I don't think it's worth it.
Did Century, top 15, he had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 top 20s before his win leading up to the Travelers. I think it's just been 4 bad tournaments since he won. Like, I think he's going to be on the team. I would be shocked if he doesn't choose himself. It would make no sense. You know, I think his long-term form was too good.
I honestly do not think he will pick himself now unless he comes out these next 2 weeks and plays extremely well.
No, he'll pick himself.
It's just it's going to be too much of a controversy, I think, in my opinion. But I mean, if you look at the Americans, Scotty's in, JJ's in, Xander's in, Henley's in, Bryson's in, Harris English is in, JT's in, Ben Griffin's in, Colin Morikawa's in, I think. Cam Young is in, I think. Patrick Cantlay is in, I think. So you got one spot for Keegan, Mav, Novak, Harman, Burns. Burns is the one kicker, I think, that might be the shock pick. You know what I'm saying?
We've seen Burns crush it under pressure in majors, Kenny. He's going to be fantastic in Ryder Cup pressure too. I think it's Keegan, dude. The team's set. We know what's going on now. Like it's. And by the way, play ProphetX. There's a Keegan Bradley. If you want to drop, there's a -400 that he will be on the team.
I would like to see him play, but I'm worried about that now because of his form. Because just imagine the questions. I mean, especially when you get the European journalists are going to ask him. Well, I mean, oh, dude, you picked yourself and you haven't finished inside the top 30 in the last 6 events you've played. Why? What's up with that? I mean, you know what I'm saying? And what answer can he truly give at that point in time? It's like the only answer that would make sense is, well, I've been skimmed over before. I've deserved to be on the team before. I'm the cap. I'm going to go.
The answer is
put myself
I think Keegan Bradley gives the USA team the best opportunity to win. He's going to speak as a captain. You got to speak in third person. Yeah, that's the whole thing. And this, Kenny, this is the problem. This is the downside of being a playing captain. This is the shit I was trying to tell you 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's why I don't think he should do it.
Doesn't help. There's no.
That's why I don't think he should do it.
He's making the team worse by not being on the team. I think he should be on the team. Just playing like off stats and ability.
The team a month and a half ago, he was definitely on. There would be no question. I don't even think people would bitch or complain about it. Now there would be a lot of bitching and complaining. There would be a lot of second guessing. If he ends up losing, it would possibly stain his legacy. Stain his legacy.
The downside is tragic.
In 3 Ryder Cups or whatever it's been. If they lose for the first time at home in 3 Ryder Cups, and he picked himself, the only person to ever pick himself as a player since Arnold Palmer in 1950 fucking whatever, right? So it could possibly leave a really bad stain on his legacy and throughout his career. And that's something I know he has to think about, because this is not something that he can take lightly. This is not something that's normal, right? A month and a half ago, I was all in when he was obviously one of the top 5 best players in the world. He's not that right now.
Fair.
Oh,
fair. He is 10th in Ryder Cup points, by the way. So, like, that's another reason you can give. Like, there's only 9 guys that have scored more qualifying points for this form. Like, the criteria, I'm still in. I think if it was like 13th, we got a problem, you know, then it's really, really bad. You know, I think still with the points wise and long term, I think he's okay. So we'll see. Also want to throw this out there. Did I mention this on last week's show? The Sergio Garcia, Jim Furyk stuff. So I was getting deep into the weeds on like historical Ryder Cup stuff. Sergio Garcia played against Jim Furyk 10 times in his Ryder Cup career and won 8.5 points off Jim Furyk.
Yeah, all those old guys suck. You got to remember, back then when Furyk was playing in the Ryder Cup year after year, right? That's when the United States was the worst it was. That's when the Europeans dominated, right? I mean, all those guys. That's another problem. Those guys are now the captains, which is not the greatest.
Exactly. What are we doing? The American team.
That's the thing. Do you think Sergio makes the team this year? No. I know we talk about the Americans all the time. Let's talk about the Europeans, because I think the Europeans also have the first 11 spots locked. But that final spot, I have no fucking clue who they're going to have. Rory's in, Rose is in, Fleetwood is in, Bobby Mack is in, Hatton's in, Straka's in, Rahm is in, that's 7. Lowry's in, that's 8. Oberg 9. Hovland 10. I think Fitzy is in, 11. Who's the 12th? You got Rasmus, you got Matt Wallace, Thomas Dietrich, Aaron Rod.
Harry Hall, maybe.
I think Harry Hall. I think Harry Hall should make the team, personally. The best putter on tour. One of the best putters on tour. That can go
He
along.
hasn't had a top 5 since the 2023 Charles Schwab, though, Kenny.
Yeah, but like, the finishes, that won't matter. You need specific games, right? This is your last guy, right? This is your last guy. This guy's had a tremendous season. He's making it into the top 50. He'll probably make it into the Tour Championship next week, right?
Yes.
You know, I don't think Højgaard's going to make it. Matt Wallace ain't going to make it there. Dietrich maybe. Dietrich's in this week. He has a chance, but it's an outside chance. I mean, I would want like one of the best putters around. I mean,
he's the best option of the bunch. But I'm just playing devil's advocate,
like rooting against the Europeans to pick a shitty player. I really do think that he would help their team.
I have another question for you, Kenny. If you could pick finishing positions, let's just go with top 5, top 10, top 20, top 40. If you had to pick just one of those to make your decision on who you're going to take as the 12th guy for Ryder Cup, what is your decision?
Like I'm not looking at finishing positions. I'm
asking you, Kenny, I'm asking you a 4 multiple choice question. There's none of the above.
Okay.
Top 5, top 10, top 20, top 40.
Top 40 then.
So you want like consistency, like Harry Hall.
I don't give a fuck about that. I just want them to have a good year, a good 2 years leading up. And Harry Hall's playing the best golf of his career. You say he's playing better than Aaron Rye? I would say yes. Is he playing better than Thomas Dietrich? I would say yes.
Yes.
Is he playing better than Matt Wallace? I would say yes. Is he playing better than Rasmus? Probably.
Yeah. No, couldn't agree more.
Couldn't agree
more.
And then
it's just also
one of the best putters on the PGA Tour. We're playing a PGA Tour course. We're not playing in Europe. No. He plays primarily in the United States. I think Harry Hall should be the guy.
Yeah, I agree. Now, I would probably go with top 10s. Like, Jeff says, you need to taste smoke. And he's the best putter, on the European team maybe, but it doesn't happen on Sundays or doesn't happen when it needs to. Like he was second after round 1, ejects. Like, he's just not comfortable under the gun. He is the 12th guy. I get it. But I'm just saying, like, I would take high-end finishes over,
I don't care about finishes. Team competitions are different because you are playing for your team. It brings out other shit in people. And the thing is, the team has your back. That's why the Europeans play so well. That's why you get like random heads for the past 3 decades playing for the Euro team and going fucking ham. Like, out the blue. Like Bobby Mack, it was the first time it came out. Right? Went ham. Because they've got the leadership.
Justin Rose was his partner.
On that team to make these guys comfortable. Yeah. That's what the United States does not have.
No.
Europeans
I couldn't agree more.
I couldn't agree more. True. And that's why I'm not worried about new guys playing on the Europeans. And it's funny because all the 11 that I just spoke of were on the team last time.
Yeah.
Right? It's
Luke
the
knows.
same.
I bet you the 12 guys know who they have been for quite some time. Whereas the USA team, they're still trying to figure out I'm telling you now, Kenny, who else would you pick? he likely, him and Eduardo Molinari have likely figured out statistically this is the best fit for this course. This is our guy. You know, like he may not be playing fantastic, but he's popped on certain venues that we find, you know, Eduardo Molinari is
you're
so
right.
analytical.
I think you're right for the top 11, but that last
Yeah.
spot, no, I don't.
Yeah.
There's no way. There's no way Luke Donald has it picked by now.
No, but there
No
were probably
way.
3 or 4 guys that he said, okay, you guys are in the running for 12 spot.
Yeah.
You are part of the core.
That's part of the thing. Keegan did that too. I mean, they always do that. They,
Yeah.
I mean,
But there's too many people to shove into the USA team versus the European team, right? Like the chemistry is just not
when
there.
it comes down to it, if you think about it, for the last couple of months, maybe about 2-3 months ago, you look at the teams and the way the guys are playing, it looked like it was all the Euros. Now it's looking like it's sort of even back up with the play on the course between both the Europeans, because there was a stretch there where the Europeans won a whole bunch in a row, right? It was a stretch. Now we got, the Harris Englishes of the world, the JJ Spahns, our guys are coming in and making some fucking noise. Are out now. So
Lowry, Aberg, and Hovland are 3 guys that are like,
I mean, they're going to make it. There's no doubt.
Yes, they're on the team. Their long-term metrics are fantastic.
I don't care how these guys are so good and they've had the experience at Ryder Cups and performed well that I'm not worried about what's going on.
Not even a little bit, Kenny?
They're not playing garbage, and they're not playing garbage. I mean, Lowry's in a little bit of a slump like Keegan for the last month and a half. Prior to that, he was great, right? I mean, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think that they will have any issues. They're going to be playing their best golf. It's the Euros. Okay. It's the Ryder Cup. It's what they do.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just think that you got to have a little bit of form. You don't just find it, unless you're like Ian Poulter or Patrick Cantley, Rosie, those kind of guys. There's a specific amount of people.
So, I mean, I would put Lowry in there. I would put, Hovland there. Oberg's a little bit young. We'll see, but he's not playing back. He's not top 10ing, but top 20s, whatever. Yeah. He's not horrible out there.
Yeah. Cool.
I mean, the guy's gained. I think the guy's gained ball striking in. I have it right now because he's one of my bets this week. But like when it comes to Oberg, he's gained what? Approach, everyone knows like, off the tee is amazing, right? But the crazy thing about Oberg is the dude is like an amazing spike putter. Like in like 48 registered strokes gain events, he's gained 3 or more strokes putting 12 times. That's 25% of his events. He has spike putted 3+. You know what I'm saying? Plus, how good he is. He's gained strokes with his irons in 5 straight. I mean, Oberg's fine right now. Fine enough for me to.
Yeah, he's fine. Unless you're playing him on a Saturday. He's got a weird Saturday situation where he loses strokes compared to every other round of his, but they don't play golf on. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Let's chat about this week. Anything else you want to chat about? By the way, I was in Denver over the weekend. Savannah Bananas.
Ask me. What makes you want to drive 10 hours? Like, I can't, I will never, ever drive 10 hours anywhere ever again.
What are we? We are 45 minutes into the show, 40 minutes into the show. I got out of my car an hour ago. After a 10-hour drive with a
I haven't been able to do the show. I'd be miserable.
Hey, listen to some audiobooks. Also, the road, like the route from Denver back to Iowa is like boring. There's hardly anything going on. Traffic's chilled until you get to
like Omaha. Would you go see like a Savannah Bananas game or some shit?
Yeah, we didn't go out there just for that. We went out to go watch my wife's best friend run a half marathon, hang out with her, blah, 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 Caitlin just got done with softball and stuff. So we kind of shoving all of that stuff into everybody's life because get like 1 month a year where she's not working softball or teaching, Anyway, you're not here to listen to that. Denver's was fun. Let's get to the course. Caves Valley, Kenny. Tell us what we need to know.
All right, so the PGA Tour heads, to my neck of the woods. It's about a 40-minute drive to Caves Valley from my house for the BMW Championship. Second leg of the FedEx Cup playoffs. Top 50 in the FedEx Cup rankings are here for a chance to make it to East Lake next week. Of course, no cut. This course has hosted one PGA Tour event back in 2021, and it did host a senior event back in 2017. One thing we can glean from both events is that longer hitters on each respective tour excel, right? Scott McCarron, who won the senior event, was third in driving distance for the year. Brant Jobe, who finished second in 2017 senior event, was fourth in driving distance for the year. Also, everyone in the top 5 on that senior event was inside the top 25 in driving distance for the year. Then, of course, in 2021, the top 6 on the PGA Tour consisted of Cantlay, who was a little, pretty long-ish back then.
He's
Bryson,
underrated long.
yeah. Cantlay, Bryson, Rory, DJ, Sergio, and Sungjae. Sungjae was a random guy in the top 6, but everyone else can hit a fall, right? Or we're both very, very strong off the tee. Very, still a small-ish sample size, but like the evidence is pretty overwhelming in the small sample that we got here, right? I mean, every
if you
offer.
if you predicted how this course would play, you would say driving and putting. It's basically those two skills.
That's what you're looking for, right?
No surprise.
Now there have been some changes to the course since the last time we saw it in 2021. It went from a par 72 to a 70. 2 par 5s are taken out, changed to long par 4s. I think one of them changed to like a 512-yard par 4. So they're going to be long. Several holes have been lengthened, pushing the yardage beyond 7,600 yards. Greens have been recontoured to include more challenging pin locations. Supposedly, they will play firmer. Now, I think Caves Valley got a little bit of bad rap last time because it was like deluge, right? Lift, clean, and place all 4 days, right? And it was just so super soft conditions. That 27 under par 1, you needed 30 birdies to win the event, right? I do think, especially with the par 5s now being par 4s, it's going to get to minus 20, minus 22, minus 24 maybe, right? But the thing is, in this area right now, it's been weird. Like, we've had like flooding rains for like a month and then like no rain for like 3 weeks. So like that's where we are right now. We're like in a 2-week stretch with like hardly any rain, right? But prior to that, it rained so much that we were having flash floods every day. And that was like less than 3 weeks ago. So since then, it's been super, super dry. But with the heat that's coming up this weekend, it's supposed to be super, super hot. I think they're going to water the greens, but I think they're going to try to make them play firmer than they did in 2021. And I think they'll be able to do that. I think they also added precision air under all the greens, so they can keep the greens exactly the way that they want it. Now, when it comes to the BMW Championship, you get shit all over the place, right? I mean, like Olympia and stuff like that will play like super hard, and then you get courses like this and the one in Delaware, right? That was like 25 under, 27 under. So they're all over the place when it comes to the BMW. I really don't know. My guess is that they would like to see it harder. My guess is the people at Caves Valley want to see this course play harder. So they're going to do everything in their power to try and make it more difficult. I mean, again, thicker rough. We're going 4 inches now. But again, it's still Kentucky bluegrass. Kentucky bluegrass mixed with rock, right? And that's not Bermuda. Like, that's a little bit easier to hit out from when it comes to the rough. Also, they've narrowed the fairways, but the fairways are still like 35 yards wide, right? They're not like super, super fucking narrow. Courses without that much history are always tough to judge, but I don't think the course changes are going to make, too much of a difference. They're going to try. But I think the big thing is going to be the scoring because of the 2 par 5s that have been, you get a birdie on that, you shoot, 4 on that 8 times in a round. I mean, that's a big difference, right? I mean, you shoot 4 on that now, and comparative to par, you're just even. You're not 8 under, right?
Right.
So I think from a scoring perspective, you're still going to see it's going to be minus 20s, but I don't expect it to not be a birdie fest. I think you're going to need 25, 26 birdies to win the event this week. Now, Caves Valley, Tom Fazio design plays 7,600 plus yards, a par 70, 4 par 3s, 2 par 5s. The par 5s are all over 590 yards. So golfers will need a good poke off the tee to really reach into. The par threes are long and difficult. At least 3 are over 200 yards. The fourth could be over 200 yards, depending on where they put the tee box. The par fours vary in length. 6 long par fours between 450 and 500. 3 par fours under 380 yards. So it's pretty wild. Like a couple of those are drivable, which always makes it fun. So off the tee, golfers are going to see whitish fairways, about 35 yards in width. Bunkers of play, and there is some water, but not as much as we saw last week. If golfers miss the fairway, they're going to have to get hit out of rough that's going to be at least 4 inches tall, but could be more. Now, the thing about this rough, because it's supposed to rain Wednesday and Thursday. So again, we could be looking at lifting place on Thursday and Friday. If you're looking for lower scoring, ProphetX. If you're looking for low scores, those two might be the days to really target unders when it comes to ProphetX for the week. Now, again, I talked about the rough. It's bluegrass and rye. I think it's a lot easier to hit than Bermuda, which we've seen a lot here recently. You don't get as many flyer lies. It's a lot easier to control the distance from the bluegrass rye blend type of rough. And that's why, again, hitting it long ways, even if you hit it in the rough, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal unless they really ratchet it up. If they go, because there is a little bit of fescue out there too, that you could find that you really have to miss wildly and you have to chip out sideways and stuff like that to get it onto the fairway. But I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. Now, on approaches, golfers are going to see small, multi-tiered, undulating greens. Golfers will need to be accurate with their approaches to get the ball on the right tiers for possible birdie putts. If golfers miss the green, they're going to have to deal with bunkers, a standard fringe area, thick rough. If they miss the fringe, so good for Victor Hovland, and the occasional runoff area, which are mostly located in the front of the greens, though it's not all. The greens are bent grass, stick meter rating around 12.5. The way I see the course, I think mid to long irons, putting and length off the tee is going to be important.
What am I looking for from the field this week, Kenny? If you take a look at last time they played here, 2021, strokes gained putting, there were 11 people that finished T9 or better. The worst putting performance ranked 18th in the field, that was Erik van Rooyen. The next worst was Alex Noren. Remember, there were 11 people inside the top 9. He was 11th in strokes gained putting. Everyone else was better than him. Nobody finished inside. Alex Noren finished 10th, strokes gained around the green. Everybody else was 11th and beyond. No one finished inside the top 10 in strokes gained around the green. There were 2 people that finished inside the top 10 in strokes gained approach. 2. Off the tee, the worst of those was Abraham Ansel off the tee was 33rd. The next worst was 17th. The next one 15th. The next one 11th. Everyone else was inside the top 10 off the tee. So it's off the tee and putting.
And also back then it was 70 guys, not 50. So those numbers are actually quite better than
T66 was last, correct. So that's even better than 50. So those, now 72% of the time they were hitting the greens, lift, clean, and place helps that a lot. You can get a divot, you can get certain things that can cause you some issues.
I still think
high 60s. Yeah. So high 60s in green regulation rates. That's why you're not going to get many opportunities to chip. So who cares about that? Perfect time for team no chipping. Like driver, putter. There's specific people that do that very well. We'll chat about them. I got a couple guys in mind when we get to that. So Kenny, let's get back to our kickback golf bets here, baby. Rattle off that card of yours. I want to hear what's going on.
So there's definitely a theme, and the theme is what you just said, Byron, for these guys. My first guy is going to be Oberg. 33-1 with 3 places. We all know Oberg can drive the fuck out of the ball. One of the best drivers out there. And again, I spoke about how he can really spike putt often. 25% of the time, he's gaining 3 strokes or more in his PGA Tour career. Putted. It's pretty sizable amount of rounds where he's tournaments where he's gained 3+ strokes with his putter. His iron game's been sharp the last 2.5 months. He's gained strokes with his approaches in 5 straight strokes gained recorded events. I like Oberg this week. I think he just sort of gets out of whatever funk that he's been in. He's sort of been middling. I think he gets back on track. I really like him this week. Ben Griffin, 25-1 with 8 places. Griffin is another who can hit, a mile now. I mean, he's pretty fucking long out there, and he can putt his ass off, right? In his last 24 rounds, he's 14th in driving distance, 8th in putting, and 6th in birdie or better percentage in this field. Right? These are the best golfers in the world. And he's, inside the top.
He's one of them. He is one of the best golfers in the world.
Look, when in his last 10 events, he's gained with his iron. Okay, he's finished 15th or better in 8 of his last 10 events. Gained with his irons in 14 of his last 15. It's pretty simple. I'm going to go ahead and bet him. Next one is going to be Kitayama. 40-1, 8 places. The putter is an issue, right? But he's gained strokes putting in his last 3 events played. He's on a bit of a heater, 3 top 10s in his last 4 starts, including a win. He ranks 2nd in my model. And then when you, with like normal mode, when you plug in easy scoring courses, he only drops to 3rd, right? He's gained strokes with his irons and off the tee in 9 straight events. In 9 straight events, he's gained with his irons and off the tee. He's top 10 in proximity from 175 to 200 and 200 plus in this field in the last 24 rounds. He's also 11th in birdie or better percentage. It all comes down to the putt, like I said. Now, my final one's sort of like a gut call here. Again, sort of gets the same idea. A guy who's known throughout his career as a long guy who could putt. It's Maverick McNeely, 40-1 with 8 places. Again, there is a theme here. He's been middling here recently, but he jumps 33 spots in my model rankings when he goes from regular settings to easy scoring conditions. It jumps from 38th in my model to 5th when you plug in the easy scoring conditions in the last 24 easy scoring condition rounds, right? This is the sort of guy, he hasn't really played like an easy course. He's in all these Siggy events.
That's a good point.
The 3M, he missed the cut. That was the one. But prior to that, it was like the Century probably was the last easy course that he played, and he finished 8th there, right? I think getting back to like a birdie fest type track can really like help him. You see those putts get in the hole because we've known that he's been a good putter throughout his career. He's, like I said, he's been middling here recently, but I think he can bounce back. I think he might be able to get a better number as the week goes on, because I don't see many people betting him. But I just went ahead and took the bet, 40-1, 8 places. That's going to be my card. I have room for a live bet. I thought about Justin Thomas just to be a little bit different, because I've been, it's been a bit of a struggle here recently. So I'm trying to flip things up. I normally wouldn't bet Oberg. Normally in my cash game cornerstones, when we get to it, I would go Cantlay instead of Oberg or something like that, right? But I'm trying to get a little different. I thought about Justin Thomas. I ended up cashing him out. I'm going to save that money I have either for live bets, or I might add one for Wednesday when my final card comes out. Make sure you follow me on @KendoVT on X to see that.
Love it. I'll go with a couple guys that I liked from you too, Kenny. Kurt Kitayama. If you think about the places he won, 3M and Bay Hill, what is important at both of those? Just send it, baby. Launch the nukes. Like, that's what he's got. He's elite. You wouldn't think. He just walks around there like a 5'8" dynamite. It's incredible what he does.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So he's just recently won. I think he's still looking to establish himself as like a cert. Maybe he can get on a hot run and make this. You'd be a great fit for Bethpage, So I think he's still trying to maybe make a run for it there. I love Kurt at 50-1 there. Jesus, I can't believe I'm saying this. Cameron Young at 30-1. I'm going to ignore the name and say that when he won, he drove the shit out of it and putted the living daylights out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't follow that bet. It's going to be a super popular bet, Byron. I mean, a lot of people.
Okay, I've been driving all day. I have no idea who's betting what. But
it makes a lot of sense, bro.
Okay, Yeah, I mean, it makes too much sense. The number's disgusting. Like 30-1 is so freaking gross, but he's won now. So, I didn't want to be early on Cam Young. Maybe now's the time. This is my first Cameron Young bet in a long time. So my mouth feels grimy. It's like speaking, my tongue feels like sandpaper just telling you this stuff. But I think 30-1, gross number, great course fit. I think that's
I think
the
it's
way to
fine,
go with
man.
him. Yeah, don't mind that. Then
Now the
long off the
issue,
tee, good putter.
with Cam Young. Well, I will say the issue with Cam Young, and I wasn't going to say this with the DFS part, but we're talking about it now. Let's just go ahead and fucking talk about it. The issue with Cam Young is what you've normally seen from him is success on difficult tracks, right? I mean, majors is what the runner-ups of the majors and stuff like that. You've seen him play well at harder tracks. What's the one he won? It wasn't hard, though. It was pretty easy, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm pulling it up right now. He just won the Wyndham Championship, Kenny. He shot 22 under par.
Yeah. So I mean, that was a worry with me. He showed that he can make the birdies. Like I said, I think it's a fine bet. I think it's going to be a popular bet. I think he's going to be very popular in DFS. Yes.
Yeah. Now we can chat about the DFS side of that a little later, but I think makes a lot of sense. Then there's going to be a guy called Jonathan Vegas, 125-1. We saw him do what he did at the PGA Championship. He was flirting with, playing well last week. He could have, if he played poorly, he wasn't playing this week. So he needed to get through on the bubble. He did. I think he's a great course fit. He can think about 3M as I've got 2 3M Open champions here on my card. Maverick McNeely almost won at the 3M the year that Vegas won, right? So, those guys all make sense. 3M, I think, is a pretty solid comp, Kenny, kind of weirdly enough. It's been grass greens too, right, at the 3M. So,
I think
yeah, nice comp there. So, Johnny Vegas at 125-1. I was eyeing out just Chris Gotterup as well at 40, but I'm going to do a little more deep diving on some other names, but my 3 are going to be so far. It's going to be Cameron Young, or 30-1. I'm going to go with Kurt Kitayama at 50 and Jonathan Vegas at 125-1. So I think, nukes off the tee, those are all going to be top 10 in distance at the end of the week. And we'll just see what happens with the putter, because the putter is hard to predict sometimes, Kenny. Russell Henley last week let us down badly with the putter. So that's the shit you get dealt with. Also, Minnesota gas station attendant play of the week last week kicked my ass. I was looking for a nice little ass licking, and I got an ass kicking. And I won't give one out this week because I haven't thought about it well enough. But I'm down to continue that bet going forward. So Hideki Matsuyama, ass kicker, not an ass licker. Anyway, some blood, sweat, and tears. That was your.
How about a little play ProphetX first? Make sure you go to ProphetX, use promo code FG Degenerates. Get yourself 1.5% back on your first 30 wins. They take 3% of your winnings whenever you win, usually. But if you use our code, they only take 1.5 for your first 30 transactions or the first month, whichever comes first. So just looking at it right now, I mean, Sky Shuffler's minus 1,800 for a top 20, right? If you want free money, right now it's minus 1,500 on ProphetX. I don't know how much you'll win. Like $20 on like a $200 bet or like a $300 bet.
Down a mortgage for $100.
Yeah. But I mean, it seems like free money to me.
Yeah. Until it isn't.
When was the last time Scotty didn't finish in the top 20? Right? I mean, like, I know it's minus 1,500, which is not something we normally bet, in golf, right? But like, you see minus 1,800, you see minus 2,000 at other books, including ties. I mean, you're getting 300 points, right? You're getting.
Why don't we change that to top 10, Kenny? Look at this top. This is since 2024. He has Scotty Scheffler's chart. The top 20s. It can hurt you, man. You got to lay too much. What is the Play ProphetX top 10 for Scotty?
So right now on Bet365, it's minus 450. And so on ProphetX, it's minus 420.
Nice. I think there's
also a plus 130 for no on the top 10. So that's there. The names,
that need to be like plus 400.
I'm looking at Oberg, top 10. I think if I can get like around a plus 200 or plus 175, I
Yeah.
think books have him around plus 145 for that right now. Don't quote me on that. So that might be another one that I look at also.
I was kind of taking a peek at Rory McIlroy for a top 10, and his odds for a top 10 are minus 140. Think about Rory's a good putter. Rory's a fantastic driver of the golf ball. I think his driving ability around you is going to give him a top 10 floor. You know, at minus 140, I think he needs to show some form. Like you mentioned on X, Kenny, he took the week off. He wasn't swamp assing it around Memphis last week. He's showing up fresh. I think the course fit is phenomenal for him. He's got some shit to prove. Played okay the last time he teed it up at the Open Championship. I think he's trying to tune his game up for the Ryder Cup. You know, he's had his little Grand Slam celebration, you know, whatever. I think he's dialed back in again. So I'll be taking a peek at Rory.
Fourth at Caves Valley the last time they played. So
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, the course fit's too good for him, in my opinion, for a top 10 at minus 140. Ty's paid in full, by the way, which does kind of make the no side of things. You got to get a better juice there because, you know, you could finish. There could be 22 people that finish inside the top 20 and your no still doesn't cash. So got to bear that in mind. But I like Rory McIlroy minus 140 as well. Kenny, are you officially going with Scotty Scheffler at 1,500? Minus 1,500, you're going to go to the top 10 market instead.
I haven't decided yet. I'll have my play Wednesday.
Do the top 10 market. It just makes more sense. You can actually, you know, $420 wins you at 100 versus a mortgage, 20 or 100. You know, like it almost happens as often as the other. You know, Scotty's just inside the top 10 so much, Kenny. So much.
I don't think he's ever been outside the top 20 this year, right? So it's like 100% hit, right? I mean,
the last time Scotty was outside the top 10 was the Players.
What was the last time he was outside? What was the last time he was outside the top 20?
He finished T20 at the Players. He finished T25 at the Waste Management Phoenix Open. He had a chance to win it. Had a bad back nine. That's like the one time. That's his only missed top 20 this year. God damn, you know. But he's on a run since the Players. Top 10s only, just nonstop top 10s for Scotty. So I think that's probably the better bet there.
We'll see. Well, I'll make the play out. I'll make the play before on Wednesday.
Just
on
giving you information. Just giving you information. Good stuff. Go check out Play ProphetX. Use code FG Degenerates. Get yourself 1.5% back on your first 30 days. Plays there. Kenny, Kickback Golf. Betting segment in the books. Let's get to some blood, sweat, and DFS tears for this week's BMW Championship at Caves Valley. We got a couple guys above 10K. Who are you going with in that range, Kendo?
Well, we got six guys up here, and I think Scotty is going to be, I think, you know, last week I said he'd be 40, 50%. I think he's like 46%, 48%.
7 guys.
What's up? Yeah. And then, so I don't think he's going to be that highly owned this week, but there's only like 14 guys in the 6K range. Now there's plenty of guys that you could play down there because this is like the best of the best that we've seen this year. So I think there's still going to be some solid ownership. I think you'll get closer to 35 to 40% for Scotty. If you want to play him, I got no problem with it. I'm never going to tell you to fade Scotty. I don't think. At this point in time, he was in one of my lineups last week. Just missed out on cashing. It was right on the edge. So
it's the other 5 guys. That's the problem. Is finding the value play that unlocks the safety.
I think like single entry, I think Scotty, it's no problem. I'm definitely going to use him. Probably in my single entry. But my first cash game cornerstone, and it's pretty easy. I'm going with Oberg. Definitely talked about him in the betting segment. Now, here's the thing: like normally I would go Cantley. Cantley's been pushing these top 10s, and you know he won here in the last. I'm sort of swerving here just for the sake of swerving. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been struggling just a little bit.
Yeah, changing shit up. Let's go.
So I'm going to go with Oberg as my first cash game cornerstone. Again, his dominance off the tee and his propensity to spike putt. I'm definitely going to go with him as my first cash game cornerstone. I'm not going to play Xander, which it's scary, which I think that he might win now because I've bet or played Xander in every every event that he's played in for like the last 5 or 6 events. Now I'm going to be off of him. He is my FOMO play. So do with that information what you will. All right. I've been struggling here lately. Now I'm finally off of him. It's probably time for him to get that victory. Like I think Justin Thomas and Fleetwood are going to be the 2 lowest owned guys in this range. And again, when it comes to JT, again, he's sort of like Maverick, who's like, I think he's like 27th in my model. And then when he gets to easy courses, he jumps up to like 2, right? Again, but the thing is, what we've seen from Justin is the majority of those have been on shorter, less than driving courses.
That's
right?
the thing.
Yeah,
That's my concern.
That's why I cashed him out, because I had him bet this morning on the shitter. Like when I was taking a shit, I was like, he's going to be my different play. But then as I looked into it a little more, I'm like, oh, he does well on, easy courses. But then I'm like, oh, driver heavy. I don't think I can get on it. I don't know. Just thinking about it now, maybe Tommy is the play. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think he's going to be as big a pivot as you think, Tommy Fleetwood, Kenny. He's
gonna
just
pop
playing
out?
way better than everyone around him. People will go to him anyway.
Maybe you're right.
JT, though, the worst driving performances: the Open Championship, the US Open, the Masters. Those are his 3 worst driving performances this year. And they were all 3 in majors. He's gained off the tee in 3 of the last 4, Travelers, Genesis, and FedEx. So he finds a driver, and I think he's got enough distance to overcome the inaccuracies as well. The rough isn't as penal over here as, like you mentioned in your preview. I don't mind him. The putter has been hot for him. Jesus, he was fantastic with the putter early in the week at the St. Jude. So he's gained with the putter since the Players. He has not lost with the putter since the Players. So I'm in on him for sure.
I go back to him. You might have talked me back into him because he's all been on my mind for this event. Driver thing really. But you're right. He has gained in his last 3. So maybe I'll get on him. And again, I cast him out. So again, do with that information what you.
Jesus Christ, you're giving everyone all the wrong plays again.
Cast somebody out. The last time I cast somebody out was last year at
Lindeque.
At FedEx.
Yeah.
Right?
At this
at St. Jude last week. He won.
You're not allowed to say that word on the show, Kenny. I think we're just gonna have to ban cash out. Like, you're just gonna have to say I just didn't bet him. Because the cash out thing is like that can make you throw up when that kind of stuff happens.
Oh shit.
I'm out on Scotty Scheffler at 13-4. I'll be playing single entries. I like to play non-Scotty Scheffler lineups in the single entries. I mentioned earlier, it's almost pretty certain that Scotty will be in the winning lineup in a big GPP because someone's going to figure out the 5 other guys somehow, because there's just volume, too many combinations of Scotty Schefflers in those big 10,000 people GPPs. In a 1,000-person small entry, you only, if he's 40% owned, that's 400 people that have to find the 5 other combinations to go with Scotty at 13-4. That's significantly less than 4,000. It's 10 times. So I'm going to be playing no Scotty Scheffler. I'm all in on Rory, and I'll probably be looking at JT as well as my secondary 10K guy. The thing is, I've always said Cameron Young, so I'm out on pretty much everyone else in the top there. I think those are my 2 dudes. I'm definitely out on Xander. Not trying to be early on him at all. Still looking for that first top 5. The game seems like it's in total shambles right now. So, but he did make it through to the BMW Championship in whatever position he was in FedEx. So maybe he's got some incentive to make it to the Tour Championship again this week. But I don't think this is the kind of course for Xander Schauffele yet. 9Ks, Kenny. I'm in on Cameron Young, but I don't like the Cameron Young cult. That's the problem. So if he gets popular, those cult members don't gel with me.
That's another reason why you could look at JT, because you look at, Cantlay is going to be popular. Oberg is probably going to pick up a little bit of steam. And you got Cam Young right under him, and JT is squeezed in the middle.
Yeah. And Russell Henley's playing solid. I don't think it's a great course for him, but he's still playing very good golf.
The thing about Russell is he can really perform in courses that seem like they don't suit him, right? I mean, like majors. Right? He's done fairly well at them. I don't hate that Russell Henley call. I don't have too many names starred here, but I mean, Griffin is going to be my second cash game cornerstone. Again, we talked about him in the betting segment. I think all of my bets are my cornerstones. So there you go. We're going with
whatever.
We're going with that this week. Again, when it comes to Griffin, length, putting, birdie prowess, form, he's got it all.
Boom. I will also mention, if you think about someone's like a prototype for this golf course, driver and putting, Sam Burns. Hello. Buddy.
I thought I have him starred.
That to me, if you're looking for like a perfect course fit, Sam Burns, driver, putter. That's what he can do. Hits it far, same situation. JJ Spawn, man. Fuck it. Why not? $9,400, depending on ownership as well. This is always, we do these shows on Monday night if you're still looking for ownership. But overall, if he's not super high owned, I'm down. Give me JJ Spawn, man. Like, give me him over Colin Morikawa for sure, and Victor Hovland as well. But for me, Ben Griffin, Kenny, is the
Victor,
smash.
You never know. The thing about Victor is you really have no fucking clue what you're going to get with him.
I bet him last week. It was over in the first 9 holes.
Right? I mean, the thing is, like, I think he was like 10 under par. Like, if you take away Thursday, he was like top 15. Right? I mean, like, so, like, I said it online, and he's bipolar. He needs to be on meds. Like, you don't know what you're gonna fucking get. Do you ever date anyone that's bipolar? I have. I've dated.
I grew up with the
girl I've ever dated in my life. She was a part-time model. When I lived in Rome.
Hot crazy scale off the charts.
It was insane. Like, the only reason I stayed with her for 6 months is because she was so fucking hot and so
you could tell the story.
Like, that's the only 10 I've ever been with. Right? And
was that before you got glasses or after?
Before I what?
Before you got glasses? After you got glasses?
Glasses since I was like 7 years.
Okay.
But it's like the I'll find her picture and I'll throw it out there. It's one of her modeling portfolio pictures. I save it on here because I haven't dated her. I haven't seen her in 15 years, but I still remember. Like,
you do.
You remember
Kenny.
You remember the fucking hot ones, right? You remember the hot ones. You remember the freaks, right? Those are the ones you remember.
Was she bought?
Combination of both, you're in the fucking money, right there. But let me see. Where is her? Oh, here we go. So let me see if I can show you this. I'll probably cover her face because I don't want to blow her up. But I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's good stuff, Kenny.
Yeah, that'll be her.
For you.
But absolutely gorgeous. But like, literally, like, one day to the next, you had no fucking clue what you were going to deal with. Right? You had no idea. And that's Hovland's golf game. Like, you don't know.
The crazy is what makes him good, though, Kenny. That's the thing.
Like, you can see, that the game's there. It's just like one day you'll just be like, fucking hell, I suck. And if he could just avoid that, he could be in it. And I think people are going to be off of him after what happened last week. He could be like the new Hideki, right? Where when people are on him, you stay off of him. When people are off of him, you play him. That seems like the play for Hovland. If he's somehow going to be not in the top 10 or 15 highest owned golfers in the field, like if he's outside that range, it might be worth it in GPPs because you just don't know.
You don't know. He doesn't know. He doesn't know.
Like, when you saw him play on Saturday, I think he was like on Friday, I think it was like 6 under after like 9 holes.
Yeah.
After playing fucking like dog shit on Thursday. Right? I mean, it's just like it's incredible, like the swings that he can have. If he could just make that bad swing not like insanely 5 over, 3 over, 73, 75 bad, like even par bad, he can win, right? I mean, so I would not count Victor out. And if the ownership comes out and he's looking outside the top 15, top 20 in the high ownership, I think it's an easy plug-in.
I mean, there's a chance he's the lowest owned in this 9K range.
Yeah.
I definitely think so. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm down. I'll sprinkle him in. I think especially the lower the ownership, the more I'll play him. I think that's kind of the way I'll look at Victor. Couldn't agree with you more. The new Hideki, Kenny, doesn't finish inside the top 10. Still hasn't finished inside the top 10 since the Century win. That's it. Like, the only win that he's had all year was his only top 10. Hideki Matsuyama, $8,800. I'm out. Can't do this dude anymore. Thought good course history, some good vibes. No, not working out. I like Chris Gotterup on this golf course. I think he's going to be quite popular too. Checks a lot of the boxes, got nukes off the tee, can putt every now and then. We'll see what he can do. Bobby Mack, $8,100 also makes some sense to me. I think he's got underrated distance, and the putter can get kind of hot every now and then. So those are my two favorite options.
I'm with you.
Maybe some
Gotterup and Bobby Mack are my two guys.
There we go. In a big GPP, if you're looking for a leverage option, Keegan was very low owned last week, played like shit. Maybe here's Kenny Kim talking mad smack about him, dials it the hell up.
I think I don't know. Feinberg said this. He could be like sort of tanking, right? So he doesn't have to pick himself. I don't know, because he's been playing.
It happened right after he won. I think that was the hurdle he needed to get over to validate himself being on the team. He's on the team now. I don't think he's worried about his own play. He's worried about the team now.
And that's affecting his play, you think? But
yes,
would that be a problem when he gets to the Ryder Cup?
Yes. That's what I've told you all along.
Yeah.
Like, the downside is
I think
the
it was
worst
worth that problem a month and a half ago. I don't think it's worth the problem then.
But I think, we'll see. Anyway, Akshay will not, if he can find a putter, Jesus, dude. This dude is ball striking it like freakishly well.
Mm-hmm.
Freakishly well. Cannot putt. He's gained strokes putting one time since the Memorial. That was at the 3M, man. Finished just like...
Yeah, I thought about him, but the putting really turned me off.
Very bad. So we'll see what he does, but I like those two guys there. Anyone's in the sevens, Kenny, that you got your eyes on? I think Taylor Pendrith can make a lot of sense from a course fit standpoint. Tons of distance off the tee, can putt it lights out every now and then. McNeely makes a lot of sense. Kurt Kuriyama makes too much sense as well.
Yeah, Kitty and Kitty's my third cash game cornerstone, right? Long off the tee. Well, we've seen him when the putter is a problem, but he's gained strokes putting in 3 in a row. And he has that win, 3 top 10s in his last 4. So give me Kitty as my third cash game cornerstone. And of course, my final cash game cornerstone is going to be Nav at 7,400. Again, a little bit of a swerve here. I don't know how popular he'll be. It's not like we've seen him playing exceptionally well recently. Again, it's a gut feel. A guy who can putt, a guy who can hit it a decent ways, and a guy who performs well on easy scoring tracks. So my cash game cornerstones for this week are going to be Oberg at 10,200. I don't know if I said this, but Cam Young is my second Ben Griffin is my second cash game cornerstone. Sorry. Ben Griffin is my second cash game cornerstone. And then Kiriyama and Maverick McNeely. Those are going to be my 4 cash game cornerstones. As of now, I finished the lineup with Bobby Mack and Sam Stevens. And we'll talk about Sam when we get to the 6K range. But those are the 2 guys. But other guys in the 7K range, I'm with Harry Hall. He wants to prove himself. I think he still has an outside chance to make the Ryder Cup team. He could putt his fucking ass off, right? And you heard all those numbers that Byron was talking about the putting the last time they played here. This guy's the best in the field. So I do like him. Sneaky play, Jason Day. Jason Day at 7,400. Right? When it comes down to it, if you look again, if you it's just sort of another gut feel. Go ahead and say who you like, and let me bring up some numbers about Day while you talk.
Okie dokie. So I don't mind. Ryan Fox is probably one of my favorite plays at $6,200 in the 6K range, along with Johnny Vegas at $6,100. I think those 2 guys make tons of sense. If you're looking for, there's not too many, like Kenny can chat about Sam Stevens. There's not too many other guys that have both things that you're looking for. That's why they're in the 6K range. I'm done with Daniel Berger. He can break my model this week. I will not be touching him.
I'm gonna
Nick
play
Taylor?
Berger. All right. The thing about Berger is, again, easy courses. He tends to play well when the scoring gets easier. And these guys that are playing in this event, they don't play that many easy courses anymore. They're playing these signature events that are a little bit tougher, just to see the ball go in the hole a little bit more often can be a big deal. I think. And so I'm in on Berger at 68. Who else did you like in this range?
I think Nick Taylor could be interesting. You know, he's super solid off the tee. He doesn't have like distance, but we've seen this guy go nuts with the putter. I think he's someone that you can definitely take a peek at. Man, I think I'm kind of happy not playing Scotty because I'm not a fan of too many guys in the 6K range, to be honest with you. It's Vegas, it's Fox. Jesus, do you play Ryan Gerard at a place like this? I don't think you can, putting wise. You know, like he's just not going to make nearly enough putts. But those are my two guys, Vegas and Fox.
He is the worst putter in the field, so that's definitely going to be an issue for him. You know, maybe you take a peek at Bridgman, who putts well and, you know, average, a little slightly above average off the tee. But I do like Sam Stevens because we've talked about this before. You play Sam Stevens on driver-heavy courses. This is a driver-heavy course. He's been in contention recently within the last month and a half. So he's had to have some good vibes out there. So I do like Sam Stevens a lot this week. And then, of course, Vegas down below. I'm tempted to change the cast lineup and add Vegas and see who I can go up to in the top of the 8K range. You know what I'm saying? I might even be able to go low 9K, throw a Burns in there.
Why don't you do Ben Griffin instead? Burns is not nearly as safe as. Oh, you've already got Griffin. Yeah. Fuck.
I have Ben Griffin in cash. So I'm thinking maybe, you know, it's possible that if I haven't looked at it yet, but if I drop, because I have like $400 or $300 or $400 left, you go from Stevens. I don't think I'll have enough, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Okay. Awesome stuff. That's your blood, sweat, and tears for this week's BMW Championship. Hopefully those guys can bring you home the bank. Kenny, one and dones. I know you're not going to be giving away the Slider Cup secrets, but how you doing in the Mayo?
I dropped one. I had Xander and Lindeque last week, and they did okay. 22nd and 17th.
Mid-wing.
Yeah. Right? Especially in the field of 70. You know, you get two guys that finish 50th, you know, that's 100, and you multiply that by 4, that's 400 points, right? You know, I had 39, right? So multiply by 4 is 160. It's not crazy. I had one guy jump in front of me. I was in second. Now I'm in third. I think the guy who jumped in front of me had Rose and maybe Spawn. I don't know. It was
fuck. Wow.
So like he moved up from like the bottom to the top, right? That's how easy it is.
Huge, dude. That's a team of note.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Yeah. That's why they have a payout in the regular season too, at the end of the regular season. So you get some type of reward because the playoffs are crazy, right? Especially like these next 2 weeks, there are only 50 golfers. This week, I think it's multiplied by 6. Next week, it's multiplied by 8, right? So I've already set my picks to the commissioner for that. Okay. So that's already locked and loaded for me. And I think I was thinking I had to pick in Mayo. I'm 120 right now, and I really need a victory, but I want to be different. I'm thinking about going Ben Griffin.
Buddy,
I have Hovland
floating around the top all the time.
Yeah, I have Hovland and Cam Young. Like, those are the two, like, top guys that I have left. But I might drop down to Ben Griffin or maybe even Kitayama just to be different and see if I can't, like, jump up in the final week, because this is the final week of the Mayo Cup. So I'm 120th. I'm winning $1,000. I would like to win like 1,500. You know what I'm saying? So let's try and move up, get a win here randomly with somebody who no one picked. You know? That could jump you up, you know, 20, 30 spots, get me up to, you know, 90 or something and win me $1,500. But yeah, it'll be nice to get that money because I'm going to Tampa in 2 weeks. I'm pretty sure they got casinos down there, probably, but we'll see.
I'm trying to think did you go Xander Ludwig? Is that your Slider Cup guys?
No, Xander I used last week.
Okay. Yes, you mentioned that. Okay. But the other one is Ludwig. Good. Okay. Anyway, as we're getting the hell out of here, FGD15 at kickbackgolf.com. Get yourself some sick-ass merchandise over there. Use code FG Degenerates to get yourself 1.5% back at ProphetX. Use code FGD50. Get yourself 50% off all my Model Maniac Patreon, Discord, all that jazz. We had a couple guys do some wonderful work last week in the showdown streets. We're always cooking once everyone's sleeping. The Model Maniac's still grinding away, baby. So come on over, join us. Don't forget to comment below who's going to win this week. There are 3 Model Maniac free month subscriptions. 3 free month subscriptions. Say that a couple times fast. Over there, comment below who's going to win. The 4th name doesn't count, people. Only 3 names. So, Kenny Kim, get us the hell out of here. It's good to see you. I'm back from Denver. Let's party.
You can find me on X at KendoVT, final betting card, play ProphetX plays, live bets, pertinent information, maybe occasional laugh, and then some random shit that I'll post because
pictures of your supermodel.
It can't all be all about golf. Can't be all about golf. But we're in the playoffs, 2nd round. Personally, I'm looking forward more to these final Ryder Cup spots being taken than the actual FedEx Cup playoffs. But if we are a Sunday like we did last week, I'll be happy. It was fun to watch. Let's win some motherfucking money, Degen Nation.